Hi everyone, and welcome to season 2 of the DSBs. Today we are joined by the beautiful Dr. Khadija Owusu, who is a woman of many accolades, okay? So, Khadija, please introduce yourself. I'm going to let you take it away. Introduce yourself.
Wow. Just put me on the spot there. As she says, I'm Dr. Khadija Owusu. I just graduated from medical school a couple of months ago. So I'm a junior doctor, but amongst being a doctor in my day-to-day, I do a lot of charity work, which I guess we'll probably go into later on.
Perfect. I'd also like to add, because I feel like she didn't even add some of her accolades, this woman has been named top 5. Top 5, okay? Not 7, not 9, number 5 on the top 10 UK Black student list. Rising Star of 2021. She was awarded a Princess Diana Award on top of being the co-founder of Melanin. How do you find all the time?
You know, I still ask myself that. And now with work, it's even worse.
Really?
But, as long as I keep myself safe, then I just take it day by day.
Love that. Yeah. Love that. And just tell us a bit more about yourself. Like, just tell us a bit more. Like, what do you do? What is your day-to-day like?
Okay. So, born and bred London, North London, from a single parent household. So my mum is my everything. Like, she's my main motivation, the reason why I do all these things that I do. But since then, I've always had the passion to become a doctor, study medicine, which I've done. And now it's just working as a junior doctor, which every day I go to work, I was telling you this, it's just like confirming to me that just being in this system is not where I'm supposed to be. I think there are bigger and better things for me in terms of health, but also back home, which we can talk about later. But aside from that, Melanin Medics is a charity that is for young aspiring medical students, as well as current medical students and Black doctors in the UK. So we're there to support, encourage, network, push them further in their career. And we do a lot of activities for them. But aside that, there are a few charities back home that I support and sit on some of the boards for. And
That is amazing. And what was the idea behind starting Melanin Medics?
Yes, so that was about 4 years ago in my third year of medical school. One of my friends who studied in Cardiff, she originally sort of started it as a blog, and then a few of us came on board and we were like, okay, this is bigger than what it needs to be, because at the time the statistics of how many Black students in medicine there were was 3%, which is ridiculous. So we thought we need to see more people who are Black in medicine standing up for all these issues that we hear about: maternal mortality, women having all these conditions that go underdiagnosed. And with that, the only way we can see more Black people is to have that representation out there. Absolutely. So we go into schools, we speak to the young kids from as young as 6, 7 years old, just so they know that, okay, there are Black men, Black women who are doctors, so they can see that, okay, I can do this one day too.
Okay, that is amazing. That's exactly what we want to touch on. That's exactly. How did you decide to enter into your profession?
So with medicine, I feel like I've known for quite a long time. One of my younger brothers has sickle cell. So growing up, we were very much in the hospital environment quite a lot because of the nature of the condition, with the pain attacks and all of these things. So seeing the healthcare staff and seeing how they would care for him, I thought, okay, I would like to have this impact on other people's lives. So that was one of my main drivers, and then liking science and then just all of that combined. I thought, yeah, this is for me.
Okay, perfect. And did you have any fears or reservations about going into medicine as a young Black woman?
I sort of did, but then I was still a bit confident in the fact that, okay, maybe I could actually make it. So in secondary school, most of the people there were quite supportive of me wanting to move forwards. There was a point where I thought, okay, if I was to perhaps stay and sort of be in the local sixth form, maybe I would be lost under the fact that, okay, maybe I go to public sixth form, maybe I won't do as well, I might not get into medicine. So one of my family members introduced the fact that, okay, why don't you try a private sixth form? And I looked at them like, money went.
So pay for all this. Literally.
And it's like what, it was like 6 or 7K per term, which is more than uni. So they were like, okay, apply for a scholarship. But when I checked, the scholarship that they offered was only 50%.
Okay.
If you cut 50%, I can still not afford this place.
Yeah.
So I applied anyway. They phoned my mum. They were like, yeah, we want to give her the 50%. And she was like, it's nice of you. It's still not going to work.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, we'll think about it. I think a week later, they called back like, we're happy to give her the 100%. We really want her. So I went to a private sixth form in High Street, Kensington.
What?
Which was a bit of a difference.
Yeah,
definitely.
Of course.
Coming from a normal state school, girls' school in Angel, very near here, to a private sixth form where you have these international students with one.
Really?
God.
They're rich.
They're rich.
Yeah.
So it was good to see like both worlds and contrast the differences, because in state school you got 30 of us in one room making noise and disturbing the teacher, whereas there's only 8 of you and they have so much time for you. During holidays you have to come back for revision classes.
Wow.
There's all these prep classes for your medical school interviews, the exams, and it's like, this is what's missing
in public schools.
Exactly.
They invest in
which is why, as Melinda medics, we try and fill in the gap and offer those services for free for those who want it.
That is amazing. Like, wow. And were there other like black people in the school? Or like, how many black people would you say like?
Yeah.
Is a minority?
It was quite diverse because it was majority international.
Okay.
Students.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And did you ever experience anything in regards to your skin tone, as in being not even just being a black woman, being a dark skinned black woman in an international or I would say in a private school with many international people?
Yeah. I wouldn't say so. No, I think it was a very supportive environment.
That's great.
Some of the teachers I'm still in contact. They call me back to their, they've moved on to other private schools. They call me back to like do some sessions. So it was quite a good school, I would say. Yeah.
That's great. You had a really nice start, like a very good foundation. Shout out to your family, my girl. That told you about that scholarship, because no, that's amazing. Honestly, outside of like your, I would say, school-wise and stuff, had you ever experienced anything in regards to colorism in your past?
I would say mostly in primary school. Okay. Which is a bit odd, because in primary school I feel like there were teachers that sort of didn't believe in me. There were really weird teachers that would be saying all these evil things like, oh, you're gonna get kidnapped, which I know is very odd. But once I told my auntie, she went straight to the school. That woman got fired. So love that. It's like, as a young child, that's not the kind of things that we want to be hearing. We're supposed to encourage us. And some young children at that age might be confused as to what they want to do in future. So it's just about supporting them, ensuring that they get the good grades and just enjoy life as a young child anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. Perfect. I wanted to ask you, in your industry, do you feel like there are many people that look like you?
No.
Genuinely no.
No.
Okay.
In medicine it's tough. I think the process of getting in is tough in itself, and then also once you are in, there are sort of these obstacles or barriers in place which disadvantage us as black people. So it's just a variety of factors in place that just you end up not seeing many people in medicine. I mean, for example, just to get into medical school, you've got, the earlier deadline for UCAS. You've got exams, unnecessary exams that you need to do, which have nothing to do with medicine. Really? It's just there to reduce the number of applicants so they can. You have interviews, which are fair enough. If you want to be a doctor, you have to be able to sort of communicate and, and then it's just the number of places available. Aside that, once you do get in, the percentage of black students actually passing their exams is actually lower compared to white or Asian students. For example, with the transition of most of us coming from public school into medical school, it's quite difficult for some people. Absolutely. It's a big jump, and so there's not enough support available for students like that. A few unis have a sort of foundation program where they ease you into it, but majority don't, which is why some black students fall behind. There's also a particular exam that we sit every year, which is a clinical exam. You've got like these cubicles where you go in and it's like role play, it's acting basically. And some of the examiners are doctors themselves, and they sort of, you know, I've heard comments like they can't really tell our facial expressions, they can't see if we're nervous because we're not red.
Wow.
Which affects your score, and some people might end up failing.
Wow.
So those are some of the issues whilst you're in school, and then when you're out of school, you're more likely to be sort of sent to court, and then, you know, you hear of these sort of popular cases of these black doctors who are just struck off the register, like the board that gives you your license number, for issues that involved a lot of factors rather than just one person, but they love to just blame that one person and just get rid of them.
Wow.
So it's just barrier after barrier.
That's interesting. So that's why it's so important that you have Melanin Medics, because of course that kind of closes the gap and tries to educate people on what to expect when trying to enter the medical industry. So that is very interesting. I wanted to ask, so how do you rise above like these very apparent realities that you've just spoken about? What would be the best way to navigate it?
I think because of the fact that I've, you know, been a part of Melanin Medics for so long, it has helped in the sense of opening my eyes to some of these issues that exist, as I mentioned, and then working with so many different organisations. So we work with the British Medical Association, who's like the biggest union for medical doctors and students. Then we work with the General Medical Council, who basically owns the doctors. They're the ones that give us our license.
Okay.
So working with them on some of these issues, it helps, you know, for us to know that, okay, these big people are aware that they exist, and they're, you know, it's coming to us for help in order to try and solve them. It's not easy. It's not. But I think a really important thing is having people close to you.
Okay.
So if you're going on to placement and you're experiencing some unconscious bias or microaggressions, somebody wants to touch your hair, or, you know, I've had a friend, she had blonde locks. One surgeon thought it was okay to comment and be like, "Oh, you look like Medusa." No, but why?
You are joking.
Has that brightened your day now that you've made that comment?
Oh my gosh! And they're just so oblivious.
And there's worse stories, and we sometimes get emails of like, it's just mad.
Wow.
So, I mean, the first port of call is speak to a friend, speak to a colleague, somebody to let them know, and escalate it to your university. Some universities aren't great at sort of reporting and actually dealing with it, because number one, I feel like they don't want to get involved. And number two, they don't really know what to do. It's not like you can go to the hospital and be like, you know, this doctor was racist. And so again, with that, we're working with universities to sort of make sure that their reporting system is fine. We offer like workshop sessions to universities on allyship and advocacy. So the students are being aware that, okay, even if you have a black colleague who's experiencing this, you need to stand up for them as well. So yeah, we're trying to help.
That is amazing. That's perfect. That's exactly what we need as well. What would you advise maybe your younger self or other young people who are at the very beginning and early stages of trying to get into medicine? What would you advise them?
I think I would advise them to just keep going, honestly. It's one thing to always like sort of put too much pressure on yourself, but number one, life is too short.
Absolutely.
So keep going on that same trajectory, striving for excellence, but also know that there's support available. Well, back in my time, there wasn't like all these Melanin Medics and whatnot, but now there's so many different organisations, not just Melanin Medics, available to offer help for any young student that wants to pursue medicine. So just ask for help and you'll get it.
That is amazing. Thank you. What was I going to say? So in 2012, you met with Michelle Obama, and you wrote an inspirational essay about your mother. What was that essay about? Why was it based on your mother?
Oh, I don't really remember. All I knew was about her.
Okay. But just like you felt like you need to work. Okay.
She's honestly, she's a very, very hardworking woman. To this day, she's still like up at 5 a.m. doing her 3 jobs a day.
Wow.
I don't really know her work schedule like that because it's just confusing me. So I'm just there, she's like, okay. You know? So it just motivates me, like, I can't see her do this for so long.
So long, of course.
So I'm trying my best to keep going, and then she can just go.
Yes, of course. That's the dream. That's the dream.
She can go and retire and go.
Lovely. Like us all. We all want to
But ours is early.
Early time, of course.
She's double early.
No, please.
She'll go before me. She's already gone.
No, I'm kind of here. I'm in limbo. I'm kind of in between, you know, like it's like I'm there, but like I'm not there, you know. What was it like meeting Michelle Obama? No, we love her.
Oh, honestly,
we love Michelle. I just want to know.
So I first met her when I was in year 7.
Oh.
So that was 2008 when she came over and first came to my school.
Oh.
So we went in choir. They told us like, oh, there's a special guest coming. We're thinking it's some down the road superstar that's coming. Next thing you know, there's all these security and then like we looked outside and like crowd and whatnot. Then Michelle Obama walks onto the stage and we're like, and this was when they were like sort of first became exactly.
Oh my gosh.
And like every single black person was like, oh my god,
yeah,
first, you know. But I think at that time it didn't fully register because I was so young.
Yeah.
Even with the 2012 trip, I was a bit older. I was in year 10. You know, going to Washington DC for 5 days, full expense paid.
Wow.
Some nice hotel. You know, going to the White House not once but like a few days.
Yeah.
Having like a little dessert taster thing there.
That's lovely.
Meeting Barack Obama, Michelle a few times, and then just so many other inspirational women of color in America who work sort of in the political world. But honestly, like the encouragement that they were giving, that she was giving, it was so important. And I think now that I look back on it and how things have gone since then, it's just one of those moments where it's like, if Michelle Obama has said you can do it and you need to do it, then I have next.
Yes, that is amazing. That's amazing. I love how like your childhood is shaped with like so many different experiences that someone from your background necessarily shouldn't have the opportunities. Like statistics would say that, you know, being from a single parent household, working class family, you shouldn't be able, like, I love how your story just shows like you can actually really do things if you work hard and you have the mind to do it. I know you have the mind. I'm Melanin doctor. I know you have it. I know you have it. Final question. Would you say that your skin color or your skin tone has in any way shaped or affected your success in your career?
That's a good question. Has it? Damn. At the moment, I'm leaning more towards no. But of course, there are still like some hurdles that you have to overcome. But I think at the moment, where I'm currently at, of course, I want to do more. I want to branch out, not just UK wise. I don't think it has been sort of a hurdle. If anything, at the moment, or as I've been sort of getting older, it's been sort of a light that people see and sort of, okay, she's somebody that has done it. Please help others along the way, sort of thing. Yeah.
That is perfect. No, it makes complete sense, and I think it makes it. I like how you've positioned that. I think it makes complete sense. I think, you know, some people feel like, you know, their skin color is the reason why they can't get into certain industries or get into certain roles. But I think you're evidence in itself that, you know, your skin tone or your skin color doesn't actually affect your success. You literally just have to be the person that's able to push yourself into the correct rooms and the correct spaces. So kudos to you. Kudos to you, because you're doing us proud. You're doing us really proud, honestly. Like, you're literally the perfect person to come into this platform and just share your story, because you look like us and like you're like doing the most. So I love it. Thank you so much for coming and allowing us to capture your melanin emotion. Please continue to keep on shining for us. We'll call you back in the future to tell us what you're doing again. What award you won. What award you won. What you're doing now. I want to hear it all.
Bring me back.
I will do. Thank you so much once again. Thank you for watching, guys. We are signing out. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.